If you're watching live today at AlanCoxShow.com, you can thank Foreigner Dorner Horner for helping out back there in, well, wherever our video assistant is working today. Parts unknown. We don't ever know. Hey, just because we are in that weird sports limbo between the Guardians and the Cavs doesn't mean that you're going to be left out over at CLE Clothing Company. You can use the promo code SPOOKY for all 31 days of October, and you'll get 20% off. If you're in one of their stores, you can use it when you check out. If you're online at their website, you can use it when you check out. And there's no minimums or maximum. You can use it however many times you want. I was just buying something from them the other day, and I used the promo code. Well, it was still September, so I used spicy. But now that it's October, I'm sorry, Rocktober.
There you go.
Now you're talking.
I used Spooky for 20% off. I couldn't help but think, and we've alluded to this before, and it just is a recurring theme. When Poundcake is accidentally correct or on the right track, it's like he, in some of his more absurd takes or perspectives on things, we cannot ignore the kernel of truth that he's trying to convey to us. That we ignore what he says at our own peril. You know, we've made fun of him in the past for suggesting that people who live in a very Tony neighborhood on the North Coast, you know, that's what they call it here, Bill, the North Coast.
Right, it's the coast of the North.
People who live in Bracknell, a place like that, you know, we've had conversations about Poundcake's thoughts on Canadian pirates. People coming over with or without a bottle of rum and, you know, putting their dinghy on the shore and then running up to ransack these homes. And that is precisely what's happening in San Francisco.
But those are real pirates.
No, homeless people are cutting houseboats free in the San Francisco Bay and are, as if San Francisco needed one or two more issues to deal with, homeless pirates are essentially rolling up onto the shore of homes. So they'll cut boats loose, so they drift out, or they'll hop on, and then they'll get it back to shore. And they'll take small motorboats, dinghies, whatever, and then they're doing smash and grabs on other houseboats, larger vessels. You know, when we were out at Kelly's Island a couple of weekends ago, there's all those people out there who just put their boat in the slip and then chill overnight, like they sleep on the boat. There's a ton of them. Mm-hmm. We were in the hotel, of course, but all these people would bring their boat over. And so you have to think they're sitting ducks for Put-in-Bay pirates to come over to Kelly's Island and wreak havoc. You know, there's so many things when you think about it that you could potentially wreak. Havoc seems to be one of the worst.
Most common.
Most common. When somebody's going to go wreaking, it's always havoc. But, you know, when Poundcake talks about, oh, what about Canadian pirates coming over? And we go, ha, ha, ha. Oh, silly Poundcake. Ha, ha, ha.
That's so funny.
Right. That's how we respond to him. But look at San Francisco.
I'm a little confused by this story. They're cutting loose the houseboats.
No.
They're cutting loose just the boats.
Smaller craft,
okay,
like motorized dinghies, something that can get them around, right? You pull the outboard and you're off and running.
Okay, so they are getting
They're not like
on
cutting
the boat.
yachts. Yeah.
And then taking it.
Yeah.
They're stealing the boats.
Yeah.
I had that conflated in my head that this was just like an act of chaos, that they were just cutting the boats loose and letting them float away.
Nope.
That makes more sense.
But yeah, they're like letting them pile up on the jetty around bigger boats. And so the people who live there, who have their boat in the slip or whatever, they're like, homeless pirates are stealing my dinghy. And they have to, you know, or they're tagging people's boats.
They're not homeless. They're dinghy people.
So they ransack these bigger boats, and then they leave them and tag them top to bottom. They're covered in graffiti. And this is what people in and around the Bay Area are contending with.
Just
homeless pirates.
Well, you get what you get.
But how far can they really get? They don't have gas.
Go till the gas runs out.
I was like, you don't know that.
Get over to Oakland. I don't know.
I'm saying they can't refill. They don't have money. I guess there might be money on the boat.
I would say, or they
stealing everything.
Steal it.
Yeah.
People,
they're crafty.
But they're also
coming from a family of broke people. They're just because they're broke doesn't mean they're not resourceful. Like they
you have to be resourceful when you're broke.
They know how to siphon gas. They know how to like fix small things and
Poundcake, how do you siphon gas?
I don't know how. I've had a crooked uncle that did it for me.
The crooked uncle. So, these guys, they're getting out there to Poundcake's point. Sucking down 95 octane. That's why their breaths.
Sucking it dry.
That's right. That's why.
I would love to get sucked up.
That's why their breath always smells like petrol.
Sucking it dry.
We're halfway to Waterworld.
Yeah. So they'll take these boats out and then they'll abandon them or they'll sink them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, obviously, you're going to have boat insurance. You certainly hope. A woman named Connie Richards with a community sailing center, which is an organization that teaches young kids how to sail, said that 4 of their 8 safety boats have been stolen. And the cops out there, pretty overworked. So it's the Coast Guard that's got to get out there and try to get these boats. But people are like, they're not doing, listen, when cops don't show up for rich people, when they snap and the cops don't show up, they get pissed. They're like, these are $35,000 boats. And nobody's doing anything about it.
On top of like
yeah, but they're $40,000 cops. So like, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, that's the point.
But like, you got a $35,000 boat next to like a multi-million-dollar house in San Francisco. Like, you're not just rich; you're rich in California. That's a different level of rich.
Well,
yeah, but $1 million house in California is a 2-bedroom, 1-bath.
It's a bungalow. Yeah,
I'd say, but clearly you have extra because no one poor can afford a boat.
There's a lot of gross boats out there. Some people, if you live in a coastal city, some people just will spend. They'll just want a boat.
Well, honestly,
you don't need not everyone has a government issued boat.
No, but not every boat is a yacht. You can spend a little bit of money and get a boat. You can have an outboard dinghy. That's what these guys are stealing, like a little fishing boat. It's still a boat.
I feel like, and this could be just Key West, but when I was in Key West, there were what appeared to be like floating trailer parks, like crappy, rundown little houseboats.
Right.
I'm dead serious.
Yeah, houseboats.
And there's like 50 of them on the same marina, and it's like, oh, this is low income boat housing is what it looked like. So I don't think that it has to be like you're picturing rich people on their yacht.
No, not yachts.
There are tiny little.
It's not Jeff Bezos. It's not Captain Phillips with Jeff Bezos and pirates coming over that way. It's just little boats that are out there, and guys are coming and hopping in and starting up the motor. And
trailer park on a boat. I feel like that's a guy who's been burned one too many times. He's like, all right, well, I did the right thing and tried to buy a house in Florida, and it got washed away in a hurricane. So now I'm just gonna move my house to the next place.
Yeah, but that kind of vibe has been very romanticized too, right? The living on the houseboat.
Yeah.
Divorcee, or what? He's got his dog, maybe a little alligator.
I think it was in like the 70s.
Even the 80s. Didn't
Not
Sonny
anymore.
Crockett live on a boat out there in Miami? Sonny Crockett lived on a boat.
Again, Judge Judy lives
Does
on a
that
Oh, I got to see this
live on a
transition.
boat?
She doesn't live on a boat.
She lives on a houseboat.
She does not.
She has a boat.
She doesn't live on a boat. You think she lives on a boat? Now, again,
Big old
as climate change starts to wash more and more cities away, it's going to become very clear that living on a boat, it might not be a bad way to go. You know what her boat is called, Poundcake?
Justice.
The Triumphant Lady.
Mm.
It was built in 1985, but she had it refit in 2009 to give it an update.
I like
Nice.
Justice.
Poundcake, were you a triumphant lady yesterday getting at the Cavs media mixer?
Speaking of...
Oh, yeah, how'd that go?
Speaking of Justice, I ran into her, Kim, because I told her that...
Cam Justice, yeah.
Yeah, that you guys think that her name is fake. And she was like, I will come in there.
Not you guys.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I think her name's fake.
And I told you...
That's fine. Plenty of TV people have fake names.
I went to school
It's not a criticism.
Her name's not fake.
Great name.
I went to school with her, and that is her name. She's like, I will show him my driver's
What's the
license. Cameron Justice. But everyone calls her Cammy.
Yeah, all right.
Cammy Justice. And I said, Bix, you need to have your own jug show. And she's like, I'm here for it.
Bring him to justice.
You know, because her name is Justice, she couldn't just be a judge, right?
Justice.
Right.
You need a judge show.
But you still have to be a judge, don't you, to do one of those? I guess Gary Busey was a judge on Pet Court.
I feel like you have to be a lawyer.
I guess if he can do it. Is she a lawyer?
No, she's a sports reporter.
Right,
so
sports reporter.
She could do it on sports reporting type things. Like, was Rodney Harrison out of line when he said Zach Wilson's garbage to Chris Jones on Sunday Night Football after show?
And she would judge that?
She would judge, yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna have her on my podcast, and we'll probably hang out because we have a lot of catching up to do. I ran into a lot of.
So wait, what is this? I don't know.
This was a media mixer for. I think it was.
How'd you get invited?
Because
He's
best sports talker. How would he not get invited? He should be at the top of every one of those lists now.
Was the food picked over by the time you got there?
There was some left over, but I did get over there pretty late. I mainly ran into all the big heads that were kind of gone.
Big heads.
Call them big heads.
Who are the big heads?
I don't know.
Do you mean the muckety mucks?
Yeah.
Oh,
Why are you calling them big heads?
Right.
The suits.
They were
Big
gone,
heads.
or you ran into, because you kind of said two things.
No, they were gone. So
Okay.
I was, by the time I got there, I ran into my old college friends, my old Cameron Justice and Spencer Davies, who I think he works. I forget where he works. I don't know if he's on radio or on TV, or he might just be some sports reporter. But they were there, so it was just kind of like a WZIP ZTV reunion. And of course, I got some food. I didn't really.
You didn't get to give Kobe Altman one of those breathalyzer keychains?
No, he wasn't there.
Oh.
I don't know if he's laying low. I imagine everyone, because it was Cavs press day. This was essentially like the after party. So I imagine everyone was probably pretty tired.
Maybe he didn't deign to show his face in front of the
he addressed
unwashed
the thing.
masses.
Well, he was at the press day.
We wasn't at the party.
He still has to do
Didn't
his
go
job.
after the party. Yeah.
I got there.
The after party was for the people in the press, not for
No, I understand.
Cavs, muckety muck.
But he said the big heads were already gone.
Big heads.
Big heads. I like that. That's
Not the
nice.
big wigs.
Big heads.
Big heads.
All right, well. So it just ended up a bunch of local media people jerking each other then for a little while.
Some chicken fingers.
Man, it was pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. They did have chicken fingers there. Whatever sauce they had honey mustard sauce, and then some different type of barbecue recipe sauce.
Different type of barbecue sauce.
It was good.
I'm sure it was.
And
I've been to things like that.
The egg rolls, and I didn't even really drink because unless I was gonna, I figured it would be unprofessional to chug a whole bunch of stuff down.
Do they have seemingly ranch
25
dressing?
minutes, yeah.
I'm like, all right, hurry, I'm gonna, chug it. They're like, this dude is serious.
Slamming
Chugging it.
Trulies.
I was like, I'm not even
Just
gonna
doing a
bother.
power hour.
Alone.
By yourself with your
Who is
TV
this guy?
buddies?
Who showed up here?
He's like, oh, this guy, he's Cleveland's best sports talker and an even better sports eater. So get out of his way, because this guy is going to tear through all the weenies and the hot dogs.
After the weenies, he'll get to the food.
And the chicken tenders and
Jordan.
seemingly ranch.
Jordan,
Shouldn't take that long because all the big heads are gone.
Once the big heads get their share of the food. So you had fun, though.
Yeah, it was cool. I met my friend over there, and then we just ate. We ate and just chilled.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, I think it was from 4 to 7, and so obviously I left after the show and just walked across the street. So yeah, it was kind of dwindling down by the time I got there. But I was gonna get my plate though, and I got a little baggie.
And
kept a little
see,
extra.
this is his entree, if you pardon the pun, into the upper echelon of local sports.
Fame?
Yes.
And everyone was kind of receptive.
He's going to be an icon.
I walked in, they were like, hey, the people that recognized me, they're like, hey. They were like, of course you were here. I saw Pat. So Pat was there.
Who's Pat?
Pat who?
Butler.
Oh, Pat Butler. Yeah. You mean co-host of 2 Hours to Midnight
Correct.
here on 100.7 WMMS?
Yeah, so I chatted with him a bit.
Who else did you see?
Cheryl Z.
I mean, we weren't there, so you've got to paint this picture for us.
Cheryl Z was there.
Yeah.
Bob was there.
Yeah.
And then I said Pat and Spencer Davies, Cameron Justice.
The band that Steve Winwood used to sing for?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That one.
And then I didn't recognize anybody else. Everybody else I think I probably had just met, so I don't remember everyone. Different news people, or like TV news, print media, those types.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they were a little stuck up.
Did you stuck up? What do you mean? Did you ingratiate yourself? Those people are your peers now.
They are, but they were. I think
you're not beneath them. They're not
they
above.
liked me.
Who cares? It's your job to get them to like. They don't know you. That's why they don't like you. As soon as they get to know you, they're definitely not going to like you. But they don't know you. They don't have an excuse now.
They looked over at me because I had my backpack on, and they saw me stuffing chicken fingers into it. and then I zipped it up, and then I took.
They said, well, you got to act like you've been there before, even if you haven't.
Y'all
I don't know.
got to
That's
go
actually
next.
kind of the way people at media mixers act.
Well, then why would they look at him weird?
Because
they're like,
I was not quiet.
Because
about
like,
it.
why wouldn't you bring a Tupperware to put them in?
Jimmy Donovan putting brisket into a Pyrex bowl or what?
I got checked in like everybody else. I brought my backpack, and I was like, all right, got my baggage. Got some brownies, got some cookies. There was nothing thawed out anyways.
So everybody's just going there and putting food in their bags?
I didn't see anyone. I didn't see anyone else do it.
Well, no, Bill said that's what everybody does.
They probably do, but they're probably more discreet. I was not discreet about it. I said,
I don't got time.
exactly. I was like, they're about to come take this tray. I said,
and you just take the food home?
yeah, that was dinner.
What was dinner? What did you have? Brownies and chicken tenders?
There was chicken tenders. There was they had slices of pizza. They had egg rolls.
And you took all that?
Yes.
You took lukewarm pizza and egg rolls?
It was under a lamp.
Yeah, under like a heat lamp. But by the time you took it home, would you have a heat lamp in your bag?
No, but I do have a microwave.
He had one of those like foil like pizza delivery bags. You know, he's got the the foam bag, the cooler bag. Just puts it in there.
Yeah.
Keeps the hot side hot.
I don't believe in that. You're not about to throw away all that food that I would eat in front of me.
That you would eat.
Yeah. So I took as much as I could without looking sus.
Were you like...
and then a brownie and cookie.
Were you looking over your shoulder like back and forth? Were you... Okay.
No, because I told you.
Did you hide behind a ficus and then just kind of...
I had my bag. There was
scooch over there? Yeah.
There was a serving
Did you
table.
cut eye holes out of a newspaper?
There was the little buffet, and then there was a table right at the end where standing room only. So it was a standing table. So I set my bag, plop, zzz, and then...
Okay, it's like, where's eating room only? That's what I'm looking for.
Hey, lucky I ain't take some Trulies to go. I would have just had like put a little thing of, I don't know what I would do to close it up because it comes in a can. But I could take us some home.
Okay.
I feel like Cody's the next. What's that guy's name? Michael Winslow from Police
Academy.
Yeah. Did you hear all his zip,
Yeah.
plop, poop, rip, rip, plop? He had a couple in there. Zip, plop, poop.
He's expanding
He did
his
all of
repertoire.
it. Uh-huh. Yeah, he did it. All right, good. So then you had fun.
Yep. Whenever I get free food and free drinks, it's usually always a good time.
Sucking it dry.
I'm trying to think of a scenario in which I wouldn't enjoy myself just by getting free food and drinks. I would have to be like in hell or something. Or like with a bunch of lesbians or something.
Taylor Swift concert.
No, if you give me free food and drinks, I wouldn't be there for Taylor Swift. I'd be there for the free food and drink. I don't care who's playing.
It's not like you can escape it. Like you can hear it.
But I don't care. I'm drinking and then I'm eating.
Okay.
I'll be entertained.
Every event for Poundcake better be fundamentally a cafeteria.
Yes.
It better be an eatery that just happens to have a show going on in the background.
Exactly.
I mean, I agree with that. At the festival this weekend, they had probably 7 or 8 tables full of just snacks, cookies and chips and fruit and this and beef jerky. And like it was being replenished all day long because there was probably at least 100 comics in and out of that green room. And so, but just like Cody, when it was time for me to go, I filled up a bag of snacks.
That's what I'm saying. I got to have one thing to look forward to. Especially if I'm not enjoying it, even if it's not worth it, I'm like, okay, if nothing else, if I get nothing else out of this, I got a meal. That's one meal I don't have to pay for.
Right.
So it doesn't matter what I'm doing. I look at the food. If it's free, that's a win. Don't care. Bring it on, Taylor Swift.
Good for you.
Taylor Swift.
I said if he would go to a Taylor Swift concert.
Yeah, let me eat for free, and then I don't have to worry about anything.